Daemon Hillon on the Fishbowl. Welcome.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me.
Well, I'm Pisces. I love swimming, so I appreciate
it. Absolutely, absolutely. I hope the temperature is just right.
I think it is. Right now it is.
All right, awesome, awesome. It's a little chilly here in Pittsburgh. We've well, I should say it's a little warmer today than it has been in the last couple of days. We've been getting hit with the storms, but I'm sure the California weather is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's just a few bitter people out here, but it's really, really nice weather.
Awesome, awesome. Well, my first question for you is, what got you interested in film and fashion?
Yeah, so let's see here. I started fashion when I was young. I was 16 years old, walking down the street, and I was stopped, and I was asked to be in a catalog, and I was like, "Does it get me out of school, and are there girls?" And they said yes to both. So I was immediately like, "Let's do this." And then my mom wanted me to, explore this opportunity. I really didn't care. I was just more about missing school at the time. So my mom went and got me an agent, and then I started getting all these, bookings all over the place, which then led to me going and, getting a modeling contract, going to Milan, Italy, and then Munich, Germany, and then Athens, Greece. And then I did 3 years in Japan. And after all this, after seeing the world and living this lifestyle and, being a model, I really didn't want to do it anymore. It was just, for me, it wasn't fulfilling what I felt inside as a person, and I wanted more. And, being young, I didn't really know what that was. So I dabbled a little more. I explored, and that led me to, real estate and finance. And then the markets crashed. So after the markets crashed, my sister, living in LA and working at CAA, she was a logistics coordinator there, said, "Why don't you come and sleep on my floor, stay up here, try to find a job, and do something in entertainment." From there, one of my real estate investors was like, "Hey, let's do something in Hollywood. Let's make a documentary." And I was like, "Okay, great." I didn't know what I was doing, but I love the idea of trying to tell a story and business. So how do you merge those? That was the most fascinating exploration for me. I was like, I want to do this. I don't understand how, but let's kick the door down and let's get it done. So I put together my first production on Craigslist. I reached out. I found a camera operator. I thought it was going to be that easy. I was like, "Oh, you just need somebody to shoot." And then they're like, "Well, yeah, but who's going to run sound?" So, not knowing anything about how to make a movie or a documentary or anything like that, I literally pieced my first production together by just putting up Craigslist ads and then finding what other positions I needed. And, that was my first documentary that led me to really wanting to be in this industry from, not in front of the camera, but behind, and the business side. Merging the business with the creative was a dream come true for me. So at 27 years old, I committed full time to trying to learn, how do you make movies? Like what do I do? How do I create the company? How do I even do this? Because it was mind blowing. And then I got my mentor. I got under the wing of Ryan R. Johnson, and he taught me. He taught me about packaging. He taught me about finance and casting and how do I put everything together. and then how do I then take the financiers that I know, and how do I merge those financiers into investing in movies? So that was the transition, which took me to becoming a producer.
Awesome, awesome. I kind of feel I have to share this with you because like right now, I'm kind of like, I guess, in the same boat where you were, like you just mentioned. I went to school for screenwriting, and I've been doing really well in screenwriting competitions, but I'm now actually working with Patrick Kilpatrick to try and uh, get one of my scripts made, and he's kind of mentoring me to take the next steps to become a producer down the road, and uh, eventually make the venture out the Hollywood.
That's amazing, and I'm really stoked to hear you say that. You know, you took the first step. It's just the mindset. You know, it's a commitment in your heart that you make because you love it and you want to do it, and there's nothing else that you want to do, and you're gonna succeed. You will succeed. It's just that, you know, having the passion, the love, the commitment, and of course there's some talent required for it. But if you're there, you know, you just never give up, because I remember all these painful days and nights where I'm like bartending and I'm cleaning bathrooms, or, you know, just people puked all over the bar, and, you know, you're having to wipe it up, and then you go take a break, and then you pick up your phone and you're on the phone with like UTA trying to close an actor. And so there's a big contrast, and you're just like, wow, I'm close, but I'm not there. But I'm going to persevere, and I'm going to be strong and get through this. And even if I have to just eat this can of chili, uh, I'm okay. Or I'm going to eat this can of tuna. Like, I will get through it. And I did. And I mean, it took me, you know, 10 years to really figure out how do you do it, because I made a lot of mistakes, right? There were a ton. And but it really, you grow as a person, and you grow in your career, and you grow as a producer. So it's invaluable. I have so much. I'm just so happy for you to hear that.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, I actually just to kind of promote myself for a sec. I have three scripts that are semi-finalists in the Southern California screenwriting competition right now. And I also wanted to share this with you because you have a new film out right now called Hell Blazers. Um,
Yeah.
the title for my feature that's one of the semi-finalists is called Hell Racers.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool.
Totally different, story and idea and everything, but I kind of felt I had to, because it's all one word, but I wanted to share that with you.
Oh yeah, that's very cool. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you, thank you. Well, let's talk about some of the films you've produced. Uh, I happen to be a very cheesy action movie fan.
Yeah.
And
Well, then you'll love my movies.
yes, yes. And I mean, I love to tell the story on my podcast because my first R-rated movie at the age of 5 was Total Recall. So I've been like obsessed with Arnold and Stallone and basically like the entire cast of the Expendables
Oh yeah.
are like all my heroes. So like the fact that I'm like being mentored by Patrick Kilpatrick, who starred with like Schwarzenegger and Eraser, and he was the bad guy in Death Warrant with Van Damme. I'm like, this is kind of like, it's kind of like flipping my mind a little bit because it's like I'm being mentored by one of the guys that like is a hero of mine, in cinema. But I wanted to talk about two of the films you produced recently. One was Final Kill, and the other was Fast Vengeance. I've seen both of these, and I love them, especially Fast Vengeance because DMX is like no longer here.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say that I was actually at what is now one of DMX's last concerts.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I actually have photos on my phone of like him from the concert, so it's kind of like surreal that like he passed away.
Yeah, very surreal. Yeah, so Fast Vengeance was, I had a blessing to meet DMX through a good friend of mine, James Colin Bresick. He's also, a director that has done a lot of horror and a lot of different films. And so James put me in contact with DMX and his people. And, we were really excited when DMX took a look at the material and said that he would do the project. That was really when that project was greenlit, was when he said yes. So, we were so grateful when he came on board, and, we were working with a legend, and he was. When he came to set, he showed up in a yellow Mustang convertible with his song blasting, just rapping, and he drove into the middle of set. And it was like the biggest moment, like the biggest entrance that I've ever seen. And it was so cool. He doesn't open the door, he jumps out the side, and then he just like rolls into set with his swagger and just says, "What's up" to everybody, so cool, and then goes to his dressing room. So it was like, it set a tone for me, and I just really, really was blessed and fortunate that I was able to experience seeing DMX on set. I was also blessed where, I got to go to hang out with him in his trailer, and he would sing to me. He'd be rapping all his new songs. He's like, "What do you think of this? And what do you think of that? And like, should we use this in the movie or should we use that in the movie?" It was amazing. It was such a great experience, and this is one of the beautiful things about producing, is that you get these just epic experiences. I mean, sometimes you get bad experiences too, but like, this was an epic experience.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. Very cool. Um, we have like half an hour. I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's talk about your new film, The Long Night.
Great. Yeah, the long night. Uh, it actually ties in to the opening question that you asked me. How did I get started? So I got started in the film industry by my mentor, Ryan R. Johnson. Now, things in production came full circle because Ryan R. Johnson and Daemon Hillon, we did our movie for the first time we produced together, and that was this movie. So I was very excited about that. I was also introduced to Ryan by a casting director, Shannon McKinney. Now, Shannon is also the casting director on this movie. So it's funny to see years later how the universe put us all back together to create something as magnificent as The Long Night. So do you know what The Long Night's about? Can I give you kind of a little bit of a rundown?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, sure. So In a nutshell, The Long Night is about a couple that mysteriously invited to an estate in the deep south, in the middle of nowhere. And little do they know that the people that invited them is a doomsday cult that is like foretelling the end of civilization. So it's a whole big bowl of chaos from the moment that they arrive to leaving of the property.
Awesome. There's a few stars in there as well, right?
Yeah. So our leads were Scout Taylor Compton, who is just a brilliant actress. I've done 3 films with Scout. Then we had Nolan Gerard Funk, who was also the co-lead in the film. And then we have Jeff Fahey. And Jeff Fahey is, Lawnmower Man. He was in Lost.
Well,
just, one of my dear friends. Great guy.
He's actually he's one of the people I've actually been trying to get on my show. I am a huge fan of his. He's one of the greatest character actors he's been in so much stuff that I'm just like a huge fan of.
Yeah, I try. Any time I make a movie, I'm like, what can Jeff play? What would he be kind enough to do this film for us? He's probably one of the best actors I've ever seen in my life, and he elevates every scene that he's in. And what he does is he brings up the energy with the whole cast and crew, and like everybody steps up their game when Jeff Fahey sets foot on set.
That's awesome. Well, if you could please do me a favor. I mean, if you're having a blast on the show, please relay to him that I've been trying desperately to get him on my show, and I'm a huge fan, and I would love to talk to him.
I will 100% relay that message to him. 100%. You have my word.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Awesome. So, I have a couple closer questions for you, because I think we're about at that time.
Okay.
And I apologize for the noise in the background. My cat is desperately trying to get in here, and I have to keep him out right now.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
But my 2 closer questions for you, it's kind of like mixed up into a couple questions. But the first, I guess, 3 and 1 are, what are some of your favorite horror films? What are some of your favorite action films? And what are some of your favorite films just in general?
Right, okay. So my all-time favorite films are these epic hero movies and fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, 300, Braveheart. Like, I love these films that, there's a hero standing up for something that they completely believe in, and, they're willing to sacrifice that ultimate sacrifice in order to achieve something that requires that sacrifice. Then my top horror films, I think that what set it off for me in horror was the Saw franchise. That really disturbed me. So having such a, following a story, and then just at the end of the movie when that guy gets up, you're just like, wait, what did I just watch? That was gnarly. So, I'd say the Saw franchises, that, like, horror-wise, it really, I would say it got me into wanting to make those kind of films. And then, action-wise, I love a good action movie, you know. So I'm always watching anything that's new. I'm just an action junkie when it comes to it. I'd rather watch an action movie than like an Oscar-winning film, or I mean that's just me.
I agree with you 110% there.
I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be like, oh, look at them. They're all going to just commit suicide. Like, I don't want to watch that movie. I just don't. I want to get behind something and root for somebody and just be like, oh, that's cool. Watch him, do jump kicks and, do these cool magic powers, like whatever. That's really cool.
I'm with you 100% there. I mean, my like three top favorite genres are action, well, I guess four, are like action, horror, sci-fi, and fantasy. And like with like my own style of writing, I kind of find ways to like fuse action with horror, with like I guess sci-fi and some fantasy elements like and involved there. But I mean, like my inspirations come from like, I mean, as far as screenwriting, I love Stephen E. D'Souza. He was the screenwriter for Die Hard, Commando, the Running Man, basically one of Arnold's like main screenwriters. And then I also love Walter Hill.
Okay.
Walter Hill did like 48 Hours, Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis. He's also one of the original writers for the original Alien movies. He's just the Warriors. He's a very gritty kind of like style of action filmmaking, and of course all the action flicks with Stallone and Schwarzenegger, like all those guys. I'll watch anything they do, and I'm not sure if you've seen or not on social media, but I'm really hoping this is not a Super Bowl ad. But apparently Schwarzenegger has been hyping that he's going to play Zeus.
Oh yeah, right.
In some format, and everybody's on Facebook because he's announcing that's going to be in February, and there's like speculation that it's going to be a Super Bowl ad. And I also saw Ralph, not I forget his last name, but he was in Gladiator as the big German uh, gladiator with Russell Crowe.
Right.
And he was a Mr. Universe, and he's been in the Scorpion King and a bunch of action movies. And he's playing Poseidon. I saw. So I'm really hoping this is like not a Super Bowl ad, and
Yeah.
it will be something that I can actually go to the theater to check out. Um, but my last question for you is, I know we've been talking about a lot of your stuff, but do you have any other upcoming projects to promote?
Yeah, so I do. I have a new creature feature that I shot. Well, it's a shark film. So we went and we built a like 6x6 shark head, controlled by puppeteers, and we went and shot a movie like Jaws, and that stars Jack, the country western singer, Nikki Whelan, and Shane West.
Oh,
So
awesome!
we're doing a picture lock on that right now. That's going to be a fun one. And then I just wrapped a World War II film that I shot in Thailand, and that had Kat Van Dien, our boy Jeff Fahey, and Louis Mandalore.
Awesome, awesome. I'm a big Casper Van Dien fan too. Ever since Starship Troopers, he
Oh
always be
yeah, me
Johnny
too.
Rico to me.
Yup, I love it. I love it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Damon, thank you so much for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me. I would love to have you on the show again anytime, and maybe we can have a chance to talk a little more in depth about some of your other work and upcoming projects.
Great. That sounds good, and I really appreciate you having me swim in the bowl.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, I hope the temperature was just right.
It was. It was.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Damon, thank you so much. I will I'll let you know when ever it's up.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Take
You
care.
too. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.